Even if you have never been to Acadia National Park, there's a pretty good chance that you have seen the Bass Harbor Headlight. Not just because the lighthouse, perched on the edge of a cliff inside the park, is a beautiful invitation for photography, but also because the image shows up on quarters. The lighthouse was chosen to represent Maine on our state quarter, which was minted just 8 years ago.
But did you know that for a long time the lighthouse wasn't actually owned by the Park Service? Until yesterday. In fact, the beacon was owned and operated by the Coast Guard, as was the case when Chris Fashini visited the landmark for the 100th anniversary of Acadia National Park.
They're iconic, a symbol of maritime activity.
Some of the lighthouse keepers were personally appointed by the president.
There's rocks in the ocean. They can warn the boats.
For nearly a century and a half, Bass Harbor Head Lighthouse has been a beacon, lighting the way home for mariners.
It was operated with whale oil, yeah, and the wicks, and they finally discovered that flat wicks weren't very good, so they began to make tubular wicks because they created less soot on the glass, because one of the things the lighthouse keepers had to do was keep the glass clean so you could see the light.
Al Weiberly is the local expert on Bass Harbor Head Lighthouse.
The chart tells you what that signal is.
He often volunteers to give history lessons to visitors, like the Warnke family from Connecticut. What do lighthouses do do you know?
Flashlights.
Do you know why that's important?
So the boats don't crash into stuff.
We just, lots of family memories that are dear to my heart, and wanted to share it with them and start our own family memories with this crew.
Bass Harbor Head draws visitors from all over the world. Even President Obama and his family stopped by on their 2010 Acadia trip.
So I was taking my walk down here, and on the shoulder of the road coming down Lighthouse Road, here's this barricade. I said to myself, he's coming here. So I stood down there on the corner of the fence, okay, as he came down, and I was able to take these pictures. And when he passed by, he held out his hand, we shook hands, and he said, nice to see you.
This Bass Harbor light.
So this is where the Coast Guard quarters are.
This is it.
In addition to being a popular tourist spot in Acadia, Bass Harbor is a fully automated light owned and operated by the U.S. Coast Guard with living quarters attached. Mike Denning gives me a tour.
What a beautiful view, though, huh?
Yeah, we have Gotts Island straight out ahead of us, and we got sailing vessel crossing the bar right now.
No member of the Coast Guard is required to live here, and while the views are nice, there's little privacy during tourist season, so it's not always occupied.
That's the best one right there.
Now there aren't lighthouse keepers, but lighthouse technicians, like Bob Trapani, who knows a thing or two about equipment in this light.
This technology is amazing. It goes all the way back to 1822, a Frenchman. He invented it, Augustin Fresnel. It's the scientific principle of how it bends and refracts the light, and actually, when you're on the water looking at this, it's a real straight pencil beam. So it gets all that usable light and brings it together.
Bass Harbor Headlight was built all the way back in 1858. After much wrangling, Congress approved $5,000. It came in a whopping $46 under budget. An investment that has certainly paid for itself, protected mariners, inspired artists, and drawn visitors.
Lighthouses are part of that picture of our developing a notion that we are a United States of America.
Nice to hear from Chris Fashini
Sure
again.
is.
Acadia National Park announced yesterday the lighthouse has officially changed hands from the Coast Guard to the Park Service. In all 6 buildings, the 32-foot tower, a short road, and a short trail are now under the purview of the park.
And that means that Acadia National Park is now home to 3 lighthouses. The other 2 are the Baker Island Light and the Bear Island Light, and all 3 are listed on the National Register of Historic Places.